So you're courting two men.
It's difficult to do the labels because like if you say you're talking, that can mean that you're sleeping with them.
Yeah.
I say courting because that implies that like you're just talking.
Do those men know that you're seeing multiple?
Yes, they actually both preferred that like they date other people and that I have the option to date other people as well until there's a finalized commitment.
Okay. And how do you think that they actually view this? Like if they're allowed to sleep with other people, they're not getting anything from you sexually, but you guys are dating?
Yeah. Well, one of them is completely abstinent. We met at Mass.
Got it.
The other one is a little bit older, about 10 to 15 years older than me.
Okay.
And he just got a divorce like a year ago, so he's just taking it very, very slow, essentially.
Okay. Now, the guy who's abstinent, that's a religious choice? He doesn't want to have sex until he's married?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask, are you a virgin?
No, I'm not.
You're not? Okay.
I'm not. I grew up Christian, though, like Protestant, suburbs, like white picket fence, like she said, the whole shebang.
Now, the guy who's abstinent, I mean, it's very odd, like to know that you're just head to head with another guy. The divorcee, I can see him being like kind of, no offense, I can see him kind of shrugging it off, being like, all right, I'm out of a marriage and now I'm dating. All right, do you want to see another guy?
That's how I see it.
But a guy who's looking at you as potentially the girl who's going to take his virginity, who he's going to dedicate his life to. Has he been like very open and honest with you about like how he feels and what has he actually told you?
Yeah. Oh God, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that because our conversations are so private. But we've had in-depth conversations about sexuality, the church, what that means, what I want, what he wants, where we'd be going, how we should take it slow, et cetera, et cetera. I get what you're saying about the divorcee, and I think you're spot on about that one. In terms of finding someone that's going to want like a long-term commitment from me, like a guy that's abstinent from church, dating a girl who had a little bit of a wild phase in the beginning of college and then simmered down a bit. I totally understand that, but you know, a lot of Catholics practice forgiveness and understanding.
Are you gonna have a problem if you have to wait till marriage if you decide to settle down with this man?
No. I've made that promise.
Yeah, and what is it about him? So you said you already have your doubts a little bit about the divorcee and what his intentions are. So what's keeping you from just deciding on? I feel like I'm putting you on the spot here.
Go ahead.
But what's keeping you from just saying, oh, like this is the guy who's going to commit to me long term. I love him. It's awesome. And like what's keeping you from just saying this guy?
Sorry, are you talking about? Can you phrase the question? Are you talking about
the abstinent guy? What's keeping you from just saying?
Can I say the truth?
Sure.
I would if he asked me to be his girlfriend right now, I would 100% say yes.
Okay.
It's because he wants to date other people. So I just like.
So he also wants to date other people.
Yes.
Even though, and this is the guy that's waiting for marriage?
Yes. Yeah.
And he's Catholic?
Yeah.
So
he's a Catholic in New York City. They like to get girls' numbers. They like to flirt, but then they don't take it further than that.
How long have you been dating him?
I guess that's fair.
About a few weeks.
Oh, so it's super early on.
Yeah, it's new.
Got it.
Okay. I do have a question for you.
Sure.
You had said that you made a promise. Does that mean like you're waiting till marriage as well, or?
So yeah, I mean, if we're gonna get into it, I grew up Protestant, and when I went off to college from like about 18 to 20 years old is when I believe that postmodern feminism, like on Twitter, like really indoctrinated me. I wasn't taught anything about sex. It was like spread your legs, act like a man, and just give it out to anybody, and that's it. And I learned the hard way that is no way to live at all. So yes, I did make a promise to myself, to the church, to God, that I would not have sex on the first date, second date, third date, fourth date, fifth date, whatever.
Stop the cap.
Brian, are you kidding me? I literally lay everything out here. Come on.
That's bullshit.
No, come on. This notorious, like you can't be like a 304 and then like come back to your traditional beginnings is just BS. Come on.
I think it's
You
awesome.
can,
Thank
but
you
like,
so much.
I
Thank
don't-
you so much.
You can.
Brian,
you can.
come on,
I
people
just
can
don't
make
buy
180
it. I
change.
just don't buy
Okay,
it.
well, why?
Isn't that what
Why don't
Chase
you buy
is?
it?
Yeah, it's literally
I mean, well,
Yeah, you're having a double standard
Nothing
here,
against Jay. I
Brian.
love Chase. I'm just
Like at the
saying.
women at the well.
Chase stopped after 8,
no,
correct?
I'm saying it absolutely happens, like, and you hear about it all the time. That is quite, I suppose, literally what someone who's a born again virgin is. They had sex in the past, and now they're changing their standard, and they're going to be waiting until marriage.
But you can understand that,
you
like,
know,
I
because you are
understand.
dating a guy. It sounds like the other guy who you're dating.
The divorcee.
There's no. Is he also a religious guy who's waiting until marriage?
No, but he
So
understands my
Why would a guy would? Okay.
Yeah,
You
well,
tell
can
me.
Can I give my opinion?
Go ahead, unsolicitedly,
Okay.
sure.
Tell us about the trend.
I think drop the,
The divorce.
older divorcee.
Yeah. Mhm.
Be committed to the good man who's Catholic, who's abstinent, because he will be a good man to you and for you and will help you in this. The other one, I mean, if you're serious about going back to the church and waiting for marriage and you truly have this good Catholic abstinent
Let's
man,
not
why
get-
why not drop the other guy?
Because I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm like some good Catholic girl. That
No,
just
Catholic, no.
like, you know what I mean? Like,
I
my
know, I know.
devotion is not.
I know, but you can get a good man, and the good man can help you become a better
Yeah,
woman.
1000%. But if that man that I'm attracted to at Mass is saying, hey, I would like to court and date other people before we make a commitment, I'm going to respect that. And if it's somebody that I like, I'm going to respect that. And I'm also okay with polygynous relationships, in which it's closed on my end and open on the other. So I'm not
But
one
wait.
for conventional
Okay, so you're okay-
relationships. I'm not trying to promote traditionalism. I'm just trying to say what works best for me,
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
neurochemistry, my body, and my brain.
Okay, so you're open to polygamy. Is that
No,
what you-
polygyny.
Oh, polygyny.
Which means closed on my
Closed on
end,
your end.
open on the man's end.
Okay, but if
Correct.
you marry him, will you get married in the Catholic Church because they won't allow that?
It depends. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a whole journey ahead of me.
Okay.
There's still
Just
time
curious.
to work.
I'm just rooting for the abstinent Catholic man.
So-
Trust
Aren't-
me,
aren't we all?
so am I.
I'm
So
like,
am I.
get that man.
Can I ask you a question, actually?
Sure.
Because, like, I'm curious, because I have a lot to learn. I think I mentioned that I have, like, I'm starting, like, a male dating advice sort of forum called Men Ask Mia. Right now it's free because I don't feel like I'm educated enough on the subject to give out paid advice. But I, like I said, I did grow up in the church. I resented it. My parents were monogamous, and I did not like them. We did not have a good relationship. We do not speak. So when I went off to college with no education, no sexual education, well, I was left to my own devices, and I was in the New York City. So I just got sucked up by the secular world, and I don't think it's that crazy that someone that grew up in the church is coming back to the church in a different way. I'm just learning how to fit it into my life, into like a way that's not like I'm perfectly Catholic and traditional now, but also honest about my past. You think a guy in the Catholic Church like would accept that?
Yes.
Yes, I think there are plenty. There are
Yes.
plenty of guys in the church who are not like
View me as tarnished.
Like they're not like looking like if you were a virgin, great. But not every guy is looking for a virgin. And I've made this point on my channel before. I think in the modern dating world, when people say that body count is different for men versus women, they are absolutely correct.
Correct,
It is
yeah.
definitely different for men versus women. But a lot of the numbers that I hear men throw out, like I think a lot of the numbers are harsh for the exact reason that you brought up, which is women, how old are you?
I'm 26 years old.
Women your age and pretty much up to your age were completely indoctrinated into
Yes.
thinking, into having a
Yes.
completely diluted view of what
Yes.
sex actually is, the men included. So it's not that I give women a pass. I think that they still need to be accountable.
Right.
And I still think that what you're doing right now, this whole like kind of born again, I'm going to save my body for the man who I want to dedicate my life to, I think that's great. I think there are plenty of men who will see that and be like, good enough, like more than good enough. That's great.
I know. I just don't like the concept of being tarnished. I don't like
No.
that.
But look, just because you see that word used in comments does not mean that men will look at you as, it does not mean that a lot of men are going to look at you as just a completely used up asset. Like there are certain types of women who completely take pride in how sexualized they are, who take pride in how many bodies they rack up. There are women who think, oh my God, like I'm really behind when they hear their friends' body counts. That's
what I used to think.
That's horrible.
That's what I used to
and
think.
I think that a lot of the stuff that I talk about and a lot of the stuff that we talk about, it's really because we don't want to be raising kids in a generation where a lot of the stuff that has become normalized is normalized.
I know.
I don't want my daughter growing up thinking like OnlyFans is a good option
Neither
for
do
her
I.
career. I don't want my daughter growing up in a world where she thinks that she needs to use sex to make a man love her. I don't want my son growing up in a world where he's exclusively objectifying women. And we can, I know you're a psych girl, we can get into the psychology and the hormones and all that stuff at a certain point later, but no, I do think that she's spot on. And the other thing that I would ask you is, why won't you ask for the relationship? This is something that women, women always want men to make the first move, but what about this move?
To be honest, I'm a little scared.
Okay.
I'm a little scared.